Something that cracks me up about myself is that I'm like the least social media person ever, aside from Twitter, which I use quite often. I hate social media. I don't like spending time on it, and I don't feel like I'm very good at it. And I was looking at, somebody else kind of like in the spirituality space and how beautiful her profile was on Instagram the other day and how much effort she puts into it. And she's helping people so much, right? I was just like, wow, I have zero desire to try to do this. And I feel like the way that the social media sphere and reality is set up right now is we're kind of forced to do certain things, or we're under the impression that we have to do certain things in order to achieve any semblance of success. And I know that like influencer and social media person sounds glamorous, but it's not necessarily something that everyone might want to do. Like me, for example, I don't want to take pictures all the time and post captions all the time and make tiny little videos. I'd rather talk to you like this, right? This is what the platform that I like. And I'm not going to force myself to become something that I'm naturally really not, and that I tense up against, that I'm not interested in doing just because I feel like I need to in order to achieve success. That is a decision that I made for myself. And that decision kind of inspired today's video, because even though I chose to go a different route, I've achieved great success in my own way that I'm very pleased with, and I didn't go down the route that everybody else went down. My whole thing was always like, I have no brand. I don't have a color scheme. I don't have anything like, that kind of people are like, oh, that's, except for my catchphrase and also baby elephants. But that just came very naturally. It wasn't something thought out. And it's not something I spent so much time on. I decided what success is going to look like to me, and I decided if I'm happy with where I'm at or not, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. That was a very, very wordy intro. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. On this channel, we talk about the law of attraction, spirituality, personal development, self-development, and so much more. And this video, I have a few ideas for what it's going to be titled, but it's going to be something like tests against reality, or experiments against reality, or perhaps try less and receive more, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to talk about the last workshop and ceremony that I'm hosting for the end of the year. It's going to be like a mini retreat online together. We're going to be together for like 4 hours. Usually I call these for 2 hours and I end up going an hour over, but this one I have so much I want to do for the end of the year and to set us up for 2023, so I decided to call it for 4 hours and make it like a mini online retreat. I'll talk about that more at the end of this video. Let's get into the topic. So when I was younger, I wanted a really big life. I wanted mansions. And when I say younger, it's kind of like teen years to early 20s, I would say. So I wanted mansions, airplanes, cars, brand names, bags, jewelry, somebody to pick out my outfits and do my hair and makeup every day, which is cool. I wanted luxurious material wealth and luxurious material goods. But the thing is that I don't think that this was ever genuinely a desire that I came up with from myself. Rather, it was one that had been programmed into me through the media and the television at the time that I was watching. I don't watch TV anymore, but I can't imagine that we've strayed that far away from, early 2000s and mid 2010s or whatever we call that, when the major theme on reality television was wealth, right? And the accumulation of wealth, and how that is the number one goal to accomplish in life. I really believe that that was something that's just programmed into me, that wasn't really mine, which I think that that's the case for most people, which is why I'm making this video, right? So years later, I'd cry, and this is on camera, after a psychic told my boyfriend at the time that he's gonna be something like the next Tony Robbins. He's gonna rock the world, rock these stages full of people and change so many people's lives. And then she turned to me and she said, and you're gonna do something more intimate, like yoga classes, you're gonna work in, smaller groups. And I cried my eyes out when I left, because I'm like, why can't I be great? Why can't I be grand? Why can't I be larger than life like you? Is it because I'm a woman? I was really upset at the time. But as time went on and I developed myself spiritually, and my personality developed and my abilities, and perspective on life expanded significantly, that curse that I felt that psychic put on me became a blessing, right? It turned out to be my dream, which is to work intimately with people in person, to be together. And I've done that since, right? I've held these in-person events where there's like 30 of us and we're together, and I get to hold you and touch you and put my energy on you and like experience each other in real life together. And then also these online things where it's not huge spaces of people and we're doing like week-long events, and it's kind of like, it is softer, it is smaller, but it's also life-changing, and it's also important. It's very important. And I know that the way that I get to touch people's lives is just as important as somebody rocking a stage of 1,000 people. So as I did the work on my soul and on my psyche and on my personality, and I gave myself permission to be who I was, and I undid the programming that I had fallen prey to just like any other person does when they're younger, I started to realize that that desire for grandeur was never mine. It wasn't anything I really valued at all. What I want to do right now is to give a permission slip to anybody who is questioning what they want out of life. Because the thing is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with desiring that stuff, with wanting a big life and luxurious material goods. There's nothing wrong with it. The thing is that there's more of a voice for that. More people telling us, hustle, work hard, work 2 jobs, work until you get it, girl boss, whatever it is, right? Work hard until you achieve your dreams. And there is no voice for the quiet life, for the slower life, for living within our means, for having abundance in other forms, for having quiet joy and something meaningful that's not necessarily going to be on TV. There's no voice for that. There's really no voice for the quiet life lived in devotion and in connection with the divine, spent reading and cooking and with loved ones and just staring at a sunset and not making anything out of it, just living for the fact of living. There's no real voice for that. I was convinced for a very long time that what I wanted was fame and glory, and now I know that it's simply not the case, that what I truly want is a quiet, classy, graceful abundance. What I want more than material success is spiritual success. I want to feel that I walk every day in the steps of the divine, in connection with the creator of this universe, experiencing this life, but also bringing insights from that other place. That's the kind of success I want. That's the kind of grandeur I want. The one that transcends the limitations of physicality and that endures in the life beyond. And there's not many voices for that. I want the time and the space to pray and to give thanks and to quietly tend to my inner world and to my home, to my community, to my friends, to my family, to my lover, to my pet, to the things that bring me joy every day. That's success for me. And I think that for most of us, even when we really do think we want great material success, what we're really looking for is stability, security, and freedom. And I'm not the person who's going to tell you, oh, money doesn't, bring you joy. Ultimately, that is the case, but money can bring you a feeling of security, stability, and freedom, and those things can bring you joy. And so what I'm advocating for is that there's a saying, you'll see it when you believe it, rather than you'll believe it when you see it. You'll see it when you believe it. It's kind of like Neville Goddard's, it's exactly like Neville Goddard's The Feeling is the Secret. Can you create feelings in your life of stability, freedom, and security already in order to eventually receive that abundant freedom, that abundance, right? That material wealth or whatever kind of abundance you're looking to get. Can you step out of the mindset that the only way that you can be happy and live the kind of life that you want is if you win the lottery or get a job that pays you hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or a year or whatever, and kind of come back to what you're interested in, what you like, and arrange your life around that. Now, I am in total awareness. I'm conscious of the fact that I'm speaking as somebody who is successful, right? Now, while I'm not a multi-millionaire, I have created success being myself, and I'm not wanting or needing anything. In fact, I have enough that I'm able to donate a lot and to give a lot and to get things for free a lot and to give my time, and I'm very grateful for that. But I got to that success, and I had this hustle culture sitting on my neck telling me more. This isn't enough. Now you need more. Now you're paying more taxes, so you need to make even more. Or you need to acquire things, and here now you have a home, and now you have property taxes, and you have this, and it's like life just becomes more and more convoluted the more and more that we have. And I feel that heavily. And I have a constant calling, and I don't know if everybody out there feels the same way. I'm curious. I have a constant calling to get rid of everything. The more materiality we get rid of, the more we can hear God, the more we can work with the universe and our higher self, and the more space our soul has, because it's not cluttered. This isn't clutter. This is knowledge, okay? This is beautiful. But even all these books sometimes give me anxiety because I want to read them all at the same time. Having more doesn't necessarily mean being happier. But as I was saying, I'm aware that I'm saying that. So I will admit that there is a certain level of happiness, and this has been researched and studied, right? There's a certain level of happiness that you do get to attain with a certain amount of money. But then after you reach that amount, it's like, not necessary. It doesn't affect your level of joy more at all. I can't speak for billionaires. I can't speak for multimillionaires. Perhaps it does. But from my understanding and my research on the subject, and I listen to stories of these people's lives, and it's like they all say the same thing. They all say again and again, that's not where joy comes from. That's not where fulfillment comes from. What they're really happy about is the ability and the freedom to do what they love. So can you do what you love now? And I talk about this in my School of Prosperity program, actually, that I didn't experience any prosperity until I stopped thinking about the making money, and I brought my attention to what I'm happy and joyful about. Where I was living at home. I was in my childhood bedroom watching anime, hearing my mom doing dishes in the other room, hearing my brothers in the living room. And I just felt so much joy of life as it was. And that month, after feeling so much joy and acceptance and gratitude for where I was, things changed for me. And I did start to manifest this material wealth. And then that started the process of me finding myself and understanding that what I want is a little bit different. And what I want is quieter. And it's living within my means. It's not stretching myself to have to make more money in order to live a more grand lifestyle. And that's okay too. It's all okay. I'm just basically just talking about this because I want the people who think that they need to win the lottery in order to be happy to just reconsider that and question that and see if maybe there's more. Maybe you're experiencing abundance in different ways. When we first feel truly safe and free, then that's when we're going to have abundance beyond our wildest dreams. And that abundance can come in many forms, right? For some, it's going to be those fancy cars and those nice hotels and handbags. And for others, it's going to be acres of land dripping with fruit, and a family of 10 and chickens and cows. And for others still, it's going to be the freedom and abundance to live alone with their animals and read leisurely every day. And for others still, it's going to be the time to write their novel or develop the app or just do their hobbies. And whatever that is that you want, that's good enough. And you don't need to need or want more than that. And if you feel yourself trying too hard and not even wanting to try, then maybe don't try. Because I think that the things that we're supposed to do in this lifetime are the things that drive us mad, that drive us wild, that we can't stop doing, that we have to do. Like me talking to you, I absolutely have to do it for my joy, for my freedom, right? And when I write, I absolutely have to write. I have to. And so those things we want to try. But the things like making my Instagram feed pretty and updating it constantly and making TikToks that don't feel like peace, that don't feel like elevation, that don't feel like I have to do this in order to survive. Not in order to survive, but that don't feel like I have to do this in order to be myself, in order to thrive. Then maybe don't do those things. And maybe take your time and attention away from those things. I'm reading Autobiography of a Yogi right now. I've been talking about that in the last few videos. It's really a life-changing book for real. I read it haphazardly in 2019 and did not touch me the way that it's touching me now. And it's just bringing me back to the realization that, like, yeah, we can attain, accomplish, but to what end? If you want to experience that in this human experience and know that it might not mean anything when we leave or nothing at all, then do it. Do it for the sake of it. I'm writing this book not because I think it'll get me anything, but because I have to write. But the devotion to the divine, that's where there's a lot of allure around that. Like the devotion to the Creator and to remembering who we are and living our lives in remembrance of that thing, that we're so much greater than hustle culture. I don't know if I'm making sense. I just felt like this is something that I wanted to put out there. If you're confused about what I'm saying, please ask me in the comments so I can make a further video clarifying it. Now, on another note, I want to talk to you guys about the last workshop we're doing for the year. It's going to be on December 4th. I want to give you guys enough time because it's going to be a 4-hour, December 4th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4-hour event. We'll have breaks, of course. It's going to be live on Zoom. If you can't join at the time, you will get a replay within 2 days, 48 hours. I usually get it the same day, but I like to give myself some leeway. What we're going to be doing in this beautiful workshop, this is going to be something new. The first half of the workshop, it's going to be, okay, so the whole workshop is kind of themed around changing your story in order to change your life. So we're spending the first half reviewing the year that we've had, closing out any cycles, really closing down any lessons we had to learn so that we don't have to go over them again in 2023. Forgiving and moving on from the past. We're going to do breath work. It's going to be really healing. The second half will be spent manifesting, calling things in, and in deep relaxation. We're going to do some movement, some yoga, some dancing. If you've been to one of my ceremonies, you know how fun that is for us. We really raise our frequency doing that. And with hypnotherapy, we're going to journal, we're going to meditate. We might even have a special guest. I'm working that out. We'll see how that goes. You can have your camera on or off, whatever you want. The chat is, everybody makes friends and connects and keeps talking after. I have a bunch of girls and, just people of all over the globe who have connected and made lifelong friends through these workshops. So early bird might already be sold out. I'm not sure, but when this video is going to go up, but I'll add some more early bird tickets, and though it goes really fast. So if you want to be there, make sure that you grab it and join us. And I can't wait to see you there. It's going to be the last workshop of the year. I'm going out of town. I'm going to go somewhere. I don't know where yet. We'll see. Anyways, I love you. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of just a little bit of a rant that I got after some self-reflection and analysis. I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, if you could comment down below so that other people might get it too, okay? I love you. Until next time, as always, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.